Good afternoon, class. My name is Jason Morales, and today I will be teaching you a mini lesson on agonist and antagonist muscle groups. So hopefully by the end of this lesson, you will know what the concepts of agonist and antagonist muscle groups are, and you'll perform a little activity where you pair up with a partner. You'll teach another group an exercise, and that exercise will use agonist and antagonist muscle groups. So what are agonist and antagonist muscle groups? For agonist, we have the prime mover. So what I mean by that is the muscle that contracts during the lift. So if you look at this little emoji down here, you'll see that he's doing a bicep curl. The muscle that contracts during a bicep curl is the bicep itself, and that would be the agonist muscle. So the antagonist is the muscle that's doing the opposite. It should help stabilize, and it also relaxes during that workout. So if we're talking about a bicep curl, the opposite muscle to that would be a tricep, and we would call this the relaxer. So here's a little video that I want you all to watch, and hopefully it will explain what agonist and antagonist muscles are.
Muscle pairs. Muscles transfer force to bones through tendons. When a muscle contracts, it moves our bones along with the related body parts by pulling them. However, by only contracting one way, the muscles cannot move the bones back into the original position. That is why muscles work in pairs antagonistically. One muscle of the pair contracts to pull the body part, while the other contracts to return it back. The muscles that operate like this are called antagonistic pairs. As the name suggests, these muscles work in the opposite. The muscle that contracts or shortens during the action is called agonist, while the muscle that is relaxing or lengthening is called an antagonist. To make it easier for you, the agonist is the muscle that is in agony because of all the work it must do. Give it a try. Feel your biceps and lift your 12 inches action figure or your grumpy old cat towards your shoulder. That bulge on your bicep is due to the agonizing work it must do to make the movement. Hence, it's the agonist. The triceps are the antagonist as it relaxes to let the movement happen. Certain muscles called fixators enable the antagonistic pairs to work efficiently by stabilizing and supporting the joint and the rest of the body. Some of them also act as a synergist to work together with the agonist. Other antagonistic pairs besides biceps and triceps, hamstring and quadriceps, gluteus maximus and hip flexor, gastrocnemius and tibialis anterior, and pectoralis major and latissimus dorsi.
I hope you all enjoyed that video. I thought there was pretty good info in it, so I decided to share it with you all. So let's try something. Everybody stand up right now. I don't really have an audience, but I'll be the audience for this segment. So I want you all to perform a squat. So when we perform a squat, what are the two muscles that are working right now? I would say it's the quad and the hamstring. So if you wanted to do a quad dominant workout, which would be a front squat, what is the agonist right here? The agonist would be the quad. The antagonist would be the hamstring. For another example, what if I was doing a glute bridge, which I won't do because my camera's not going to face the ground. But what if I did a glute bridge? What would be the muscle contracting? I would say it would be the glutes, right? That's the agonist. The antagonists are your quadriceps because they're relaxing, but they're also working together in order to achieve that exercise. So here are a list of common agonist and antagonist muscle groups. I know most of you have probably took anatomy or haven't, but the names are super complicated. But on this left column where it says primary movers, those are agonists, and right across are the antagonists, so vice versa. Hopefully it gives you a better idea or a general idea of what this agonist and antagonist muscle pairs are. And on this right hand side column, I just put a little depiction of the muscular system. So if you didn't know what the anatomy in the human body was, this hopefully helps a bit here. So you can take a little minute to look at these muscle groups and uh, just compare them to each other. Cool. So why is this important? Why are agonist and antagonist groups even important in exercises? I'll give you an example or a little story. When I was younger, I was playing soccer and I was going at it and tripped and broke my ankle. When I broke my ankle, my recovery was pretty harsh. I had to go through physical therapy, in which I had signs of muscle loss on my right side and physical imbalances. So the physical therapist had to take me through some exercises that would help me get stronger where I needed to be. These exercises were designed to get every part on my right side strong, so that way I wouldn't have any physical imbalances in my body. So antagonist and agonist exercises are important because they prevent injuries, they improve your strength and posture, and they ensure that these muscles are developed evenly for better overall fitness. You'll need to work out all of these muscles just so that you can benefit from all of these things listed here. Cool. So now it's part of our activity. I want all of you to pair up with a person you haven't worked with before. So at this time, look for someone. I'll give you 2 minutes to look through your phones or computers to find additional agonist and antagonist muscle pairs. And I've already gave you a list of them, so you could probably find another list on Google. After you choose a pair, find an exercise that corresponds to this muscle group. So I just did glute bridge. That glute bridge, the agonist part was my glutes, and the antagonist was my quadriceps. That's an example for you all. So now take some time and find an exercise. Once you're done doing that with your partner, I'll let you know what comes next. All right, so now that you have all found an exercise, I want you to find another group that preferably that you haven't worked with. You're going to pair up with them, and here are the guidelines for your teaching. So I want to make sure that you clearly identify the agonist and antagonist group for each exercise. So say you chose a push-up. I want you to teach your group how to do a push-up, what the agonist and antagonist muscles are, and make sure that they identify those and understand what they are. So I'll give you a couple minutes just to do this. All right, class, since you are done doing your activity, teaching your groups, and have a small understanding on what agonist and antagonist muscle pairs are and how they can help you design an exercise plan for yourself, I want you guys to write on the whiteboard and understand this is part of your exit ticket, so all of you are going to have to do it. I want you to write on the whiteboard what exercise was taught to you by another group. So after you do that, I want you to identify how those muscles work together, which one's the prime mover, and which one relaxes. So in other words, which one's the agonist and which one's the antagonist. And then lastly, I want you to write why agonistic and antagonistic exercises are important to you and how they can benefit you later in life. If you don't remember, look on your phones, go through your Google search, and you can write an answer up in the board. And hopefully you all understood the concepts to this class and have a better understanding of what these muscle pair groups are. If you have any questions, please let me know. But this concludes my lesson, and It was nice teaching you all. See ya.